Now on CoastTV News.
Video showing the moment the U.S. strikes Venezuela. What's happening now after the unprecedented military action? Venezuela's president captured, what the U.S. military says they encountered, and who else has been indicted. Venezuelans on Delmarva rejoice, why one family in Rehoboth Beach says the move changes everything for their family. Stickers commemorating fallen Delaware State Police Trooper Corporal Matthew Ty Snook. Cars from across the state now bearing that sticker in his name.
The winter cold continues under cloudy skies this evening. Sunshine Sunday, but still very cold. Then a work week warm up with 50s on the way. Forecast details coming up shortly.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Helicopters over Venezuela as the U.S. military strikes the South American country and takes its leader. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. We begin tonight with the news that sent shockwaves across the globe. Right now, Venezuela's president, called a dictator by many, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife have arrived in New York City, where they will face multiple federal charges for drug trafficking. The couple was captured by U.S. forces overnight. Sources familiar with the incident say they were dragged from their bedroom. Jen Sullivan reports on the story that has stunned many global leaders, as President Donald Trump said the U.S. would run Venezuela until there can be a transition of power.
Missiles lighting up the sky in Venezuela overnight Saturday as the U.S. launched strikes into the country's capital city of Caracas in a stunning attack.
It was clear that something was happening, and it was big because of the detonations that we heard.
Mary Mena, a CNN producer located in Caracas, says the attack led to confusion and fear.
Early today,
President Donald Trump announcing the attack on Truth Social and said President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured. Then later sharing this photo of Maduro in U.S. custody.
This was one of the most stunning, effective and powerful displays of American military might.
Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, face multiple drug and weapons charges, including narco-terrorism conspiracy and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. Venezuelans in South Florida celebrating the news of Maduro's capture. This incident follows weeks of rising tension between the U.S. and Venezuela. For months, the Trump administration has been targeting alleged drug boats coming from Venezuela in what it has called its crackdown on global drug trafficking. Maduro has denied involvement. While Maduro was seen by many as an authoritarian leader who violated human rights, the action to capture him and his wife has raised serious concerns about the U.S. violating international law.
The strikes overall and the activity in the sovereign territory of another country will certainly raise criticism from some parts of Congress, within our own government, and certainly from the international community.
Venezuela leaders say they have requested an urgent meeting with the United Nations Security Council in response to the attack. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Now, one source familiar says Nicolas Maduro and his wife are expected to appear in a federal courtroom in New York as early as Monday. Now, again, President Trump said the U.S. will run the country in Venezuela right now.
We don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
The news of the capture is welcome to some Venezuelans who call Delmarva home. CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken in our newsroom. Emma, one restaurant owner tells you the capture of President Maduro has been long awaited.
Maddie, when I walked into the restaurant today, owner Javier Guillerguan was ecstatic. He had a huge smile on his face and honestly just a sense of relief. He says as a Venezuelan, he's been waiting for this day for years. He's hopeful that the capture of President Maduro means the end to a regime that he and his people have long suffered under. Check out these pictures of Guillerguan. This is him around the age of 15 before he left Venezuela and moved to America for good. Here's one of him visiting Venezuela years later with his daughter. And now Gigueroan has grandkids, like his granddaughter seen in the restaurant here. He says the capture of what he calls a dictator president like Maduro makes bringing his family to Venezuela, some for the very first time, a real possibility again.
Then Maduro took over, and they thought some people thought that we was never gonna get away from that concept of life, and now it come to reality. So a lot of people are happy right today.
Now, Gigueroan says he wouldn't necessarily feel safe going to Venezuela right at this moment, but thinks once the dust settles and things are straightened out, Venezuela will be much safer, and says he looks forward to going to see family there that he hasn't been able to see in decades. Maddie.
Emma, thank you. There were celebrations across the globe after news spread. You're seeing images here from Miami, others from Peru and even Colombia. People waving flags and cheering, honking horns, others saying, "Free Venezuela." But not everyone is happy. Anti-war protests are popping up across the nation. This was held outside the White House, where protesters held signs that read, "No U.S. war on Venezuela" and "U.S. hands off Latin America."
We don't need wars in America. It just doesn't make any sense. The money that we're spending on a war with a country that really is not any threat to us, it's just, I can't abide that.
Also in D.C., Secret Service and law enforcement responded to a bomb threat near the former Venezuelan embassy in D.C. The former embassy has been unoccupied since diplomatic relations were severed in 2023. And here's what Venezuela looked like after the news. Calm. People in line, buying groceries, going about their day. Again, all the footage you're seeing here is from the capital city. So far, all of Delaware's congressional delegation and senators from Maryland and Virginia have condemned the U.S. military action in Venezuela. Delaware Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester saying, quote, "The U.S. military is not the president's personal army. If this continues, nothing stops him from sending American troops around the world to carry out his own reckless foreign policy decisions." We have a full article with reaction from Delmarva's leaders on this right now on CoastTV.com. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Rehoboth Beach on the boardwalk there. Our first alert meteorologist Bob Trihey is tracking our forecast. Good evening, Bob.
Good evening, Maddie. Yeah, we saw lots of clouds out there today. The cold start to 2026 continues. We barely got above freezing, and now everybody pretty much at or below freezing. 31 in Delmar and Georgetown, Long Neck 31, Bethany Beach right now at 33. Thankfully, the winds are very, very light, so the feels like temperatures pretty much mirror the actual temperatures in the 20s and 30s. We have a lot of clouds out there right now, and it looks like snow across southern parts of Delmarva into Virginia, but I think there's just too much dry air in place for that to be happening. But there is rain across the Outer Banks as we are tracking low pressure, and this will be staying to our south, so just cloudy through the evening and overnight hours as temperatures, I think, will be falling. Depends on the thickness of the overcast. I think we'll be into the mid to upper 20s by tomorrow morning. Sunshine on Sunday, then a big warm up into next week. More on that coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Bob, thank you. Take a look at this. Cars lining up in Newark for Back the Blue. At the event, each driver was given a memorial sticker. Each sticker had the name of Matthew Ty Snook. Snook is the state police trooper who was killed by a shooter while working overtime at the DMV. Organizers pledging to always remember him.
This event's very meaningful. One, it shows how strong the Delawareans are in a time of need when a tragic event, how they come out and work together. And we had over 100 volunteers this morning coming out at 7:30 this morning, standing in these frigid temperatures to be here with us to work with the Blue Line Network and the Delaware State Police to make sure his legacy, Corporal Snooks, is never forgotten. We never forget him.
Now, the event was donation-based, and all of the money went to the Snook family. Trooper Snook will be laid to rest on Monday. A celebration of life is at the Bob Carpenter Center at UD in Newark. State police say the service will be live-streamed on the DSP YouTube channel. That starts around noon, with the service expected to start around 1. Police are asking drivers, expect delays, be patient, including a temporary closure of I-95 southbound near the mall for a law enforcement convoy. Still to come on Coast TV News at 6, a Millsboro house fire costs a Nicola's employee everything how the restaurant is stepping up, and you can help too.
We saw lots of clouds on our Saturday. We only got up to 33. Average high is 46, down to 19 this morning with 5 the record low. Still cold into Sunday with more sunshine, but then warming up into next week with 50s on the way. Your full forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Changes to Rehoboth Beach government operations. What's happening as soon as Monday? That story up next when CoastTV News at 6 returns.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Starting Monday in Rehoboth Beach, city leaders will be able to introduce and vote on topics in the same meeting. Rehoboth's mayor says not for everything, just kind of simpler topics like construction or committee appointments. The mayor says everything up for a vote will be listed as such on the agenda. But some worry this could limit public opinion.
If they don't, add guidelines like you said, I could see it getting out of hand easily.
Rehoboth Beach leaders say the first meeting with this new format is Monday, January 5th. Coming up next, Bob Tryhu's in our weather center tracking our cold for the weekend. Up next.
It definitely had that winter look today. We saw the skies that were overcast. It looked like it wanted to snow. It's just too dry, and it looks like that system is passing to our south. But it was cold, barely above freezing in Georgetown at 33 today, 34 in Cambridge, 37 Wallops Island, Dover 32. As we're taking a live look at the Tidal Health Cam in Salisbury right now, dry roads, so no worries this evening. And on Sunday, I think we'll see more sunshine, but still cold. Highs in the 30s and some beach locations into the 40s. Then next week, some changes. It starts out cold, then it warms up. In fact, 50s Wednesday through Friday, and maybe some showers as we head into Friday. But right now, it's just cold. Everybody pretty much below freezing. Lewis a little bit above freezing at 33, with Millsboro and Gumboro 31. Seaford right now at 32. And thankfully, the winds are calm or very, very light. So we're not dealing with brutal wind chills, as those feels like temperatures pretty much mirroring the actual temperatures. Now, we're seeing those overcast skies. We've seen those, but they're not super thick. And you look to the south, you're saying, wow, it's snowing southern Delmarva into Virginia. I don't think so, because the air is so dry. As we're watching a system passing to our south, it is raining across the Outer Banks as low pressure is tracking off the southeast coast. And that trend will continue with high pressure over us. So we're not looking at anything in the way of snow. We previously thought maybe a few flurries tonight, but that's not the case. And then behind the system, we're going to start to see conditions drying out into Sunday with sunshine. Here's Futurecast this evening, just overcast with temperatures around freezing. And as the overcast thins out, I think temperatures will drop into the 20s as we go into Sunday morning. And then I think we'll see more sunshine tomorrow, but it's going to be cold once again by noon, upper 30s with a brisk northwest wind, and highs only topping out into the upper 30s tomorrow. And then we go into your Monday morning, more clouds and temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Then that flow starts to turn in out of the south. And we start to warm up a little bit by Monday with temperatures in the low 40s. But feels like temperatures of the overnight into the 20s, maybe as cold as upper teens Sunday morning. And it's going to be feeling cold with that breeze again as we go into Monday. And then the winds start to turn in out of the south. Along the coast on Sunday, upper 30s to lower 40s, 41 in Chincoteague with sunshine, 39 in Ocean City. And look at this. Our temperature outlook map for the next 6 to 10 days is red, something we haven't seen in a while, with above normal temperatures on the way. Could see some rain showers by Friday. Models are differing on what exactly we're going to see into next weekend, but it could be unsettled right now with just some rain showers. 25 tonight, cloudy skies, and it will be cold. And then 39 for your Sunday. I think we'll see more in the way of sunshine. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. There's the 50s beginning Tuesday, 51, 57 Wednesday, close to 60 Friday with showers, and looks like some more showers into Saturday and a high of 58.
Thank you, Bob. I love those 50s. Up next on CoastTV News, though, if you're venturing outside, for now, a cold weather warning from Maryland health authorities. As cold weather grips Delmarva, local health departments are urging caution. The Wicomico County Health Department says layer up, but you may not think of this. You need windproof gear. The health department also says sunglasses, sunscreen, and lip balm are a must to protect your eyes and skin during the blistering cold. And a reminder, frostbite can come on quickly. Up next on CoastTV News, helping a longtime employee. When Nicola Pizza is asking you to come out and help this man after a fire took everything. That story up next. Nicola Pizza is stepping up to help one of their own. On Wednesday, January 14th, the popular Lewis restaurant will donate 20% of all sales to a longtime kitchen worker, Roberto, known as Bert. Bert lost everything in a December house fire in Millsboro. The fundraiser applies to dine-in or carry-out from 11 to 10 on January 14th. And here's photos of that fire. It broke out on Spencer Court in Millsboro on December 14th. And now, while the home was lost, good news, no reported injuries. As we look live outside into Ocean City, one more check on your forecast after this.
If you're headed out this evening, make sure you bundle up. It's cloudy, at least the winds are light. Temperatures falling through the 30s into the 20s. An outside chance of a flurry, but a pretty slim chance. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Still cold into Monday, 42. Then we get into the 50s, upper 50s by Wednesday. Goes to 60 Friday with showers, some showers Saturday. And then getting colder again. Naturally, it is January. Falling through the 40s into early part of the following week. Maybe some more showers by Tuesday, but no snowflakes in that 10-day, Maddie.
I love that. Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, you can download our apps. Join us tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.